My gratitude for this week. Yesterday, when I picked my daughter from school, this is the first thing she gave me to mom from Ariana. And she made this cute little kitty cat for me. No. And I love the way my daughter expresses her love to me. It is incredible. I'm blown away when I see little things like this, and it melts my heart. Moving to America, I walked around all day like a lost cub in the grassland of Africa, far away from its pride. Everything was new to me: the people, the food, the weather, the culture, and everything that surrounded me was different from what I was used to for many years. I tried to search for any signs and similarities with my country, Kenya. I roamed around from place to place and moved along with the day. However, sometimes I felt like packing my bags and going back home, especially in the winter. I come from a tropical country. The weather is warm all around the year. And here I am, it's so cold, and I am not used to this cold. And many times I felt like going back home. But the process of packing my bags and going flying for 24 hours, I'm like, okay, maybe I can stay. It's gonna be better. I noticed there were many differences. When I walked to a grocery store, it was massive, and there were all these products, all these brands, and I spent hours and hours looking for things that were familiar to me, and I couldn't find things that were familiar to me. Even simple things like bread, toothpaste, there was many brands, and I couldn't decide or choose the one I wanted or the one that I was used to. Even things like my daughter loves sausages and bacon, but when I went to the store, there were all these brands and I couldn't choose. I couldn't choose ketchup, butter, shower gel, cheese, bacon, and just about everything. I got so frustrated when I couldn't find watermelon. My sister had lived here for many years before me, and she told me those are seasonal fruits. And I'm like, I'm used to my watermelon. It quenches my thirst, and I can't find it anywhere. I love papaya, and I couldn't find it too. Back in Kenya, there is open air market. Papaya, watermelon is available all year round. And those are the little things that made me very frustrated, and I wanted to pack my bags and go back home. When I walked to a gas station, every time I drove to a gas station, I had an anticipation that I will meet a gas attendant to fill my car with gas, check my tire pressure, check the coolant, clean the windshield while I stayed in the car, perhaps filing my nails, catching up with a friend on phone. But I realized there was nobody to fill up my gas. There was nobody to check my tire pressure. I, Pauline, had to get out of the car and do all this for myself. Oftentimes, I forgot to close the gas tank of my car, and someone will honk at me and tell me to close it because I'm like, I'm not used to this. I'm not used to filling up the car with gas. And I always found myself forgetting. What is not fun about filling up the car is during winter time when it's 0 degrees. I'm like, I wish I could buy gas and store it in my house, then I could just fill it up in my garage. But I have to drive to the gas station. In the restaurants, I had to learn the hard way. I came to learn that I was expected to put away my tray, my cups, everything, just about everything. As try as I might, I often found myself leaving or forgetting to pick my tray and clean up after myself. But my sister often reminded me, you have to clean up after yourself. And in Kenya, there's something we say that you can only get away with things when you're in your grandparents' house. So she would remind me often that this is not your grandparents' house, Clean up after yourself. There's nobody to clean up after yourself. When I started working in the office setup, there were cubicles and people would just communicate directly to you. In Kenya, if I want something from you, I would walk to you, ask you, how are you doing? How are you? If you have kids, I will ask, how are your kids? To the point of asking, how is your grandmother? How is your grandfather? How is your auntie? Before I get to the point of what I want or what I want to communicate. But here I am, I get an email straight to the point. And I used to get offended. And this is just the culture. That is what I have learned. This is the new culture that I have to adopt to. And change is inevitable. I keep learning every day. It's starting all over again, a new setup with new people, new culture, new food, new weather. Everything is new. When I went to a church service, it was 1 hour. And I felt like I wanted to spend more time in church, like what I was used to back at home. The service was 2 hours and a half. Here, I was like, it's fine, get in, get out. In the place of worship, I was so used to, doing many activities, spending time with people. On a Sunday, I would dedicate that day to place of worship. The other thing that I struggled with when I walked to a store, I meet a complete stranger and they would share things that I considered to be shared with a close family or a close friend. With time, I struggled within myself because I was here physically in America, but I was psychologically, I was in Kenya. When I got someone who was visiting Kenya, I would do a long list of the things that I wanted them to bring for me. And I remember this one time, I walked to a restaurant and I asked for chips. Back in Kenya, chips is fries. I was so hungry. This is what I was brought for on my table, chips. This is chips. And this could not fill my stomach. This is chips. And I was like, oh my gosh, I wanted fries, not chips. So these are the things that I have learned, that we refer to different things using different, the same thing using different terminology. After 4 years living in Rochester, I have realized change is inevitable. I can make turkey, apple pie, cranberry sauce, pork ribs, cornbread, mac and cheese. That's my daughter's favorite food. I have embraced change, and I am open to learning new things. I quote Socrates. He says, the secret of change is to focus off your energy, all of your energy, not to fighting old, but on building the new. I still appreciate my Kenyan culture, but I've realized moving forward in this new environment that I'm in, change is inevitable. Thank you all and make it a great day. Back to you, Toastmaster.